Day 7 of training camp in the books. CJ Stroud had a really good day, threw a touchdown to Nico Collins, courtesy of the Texans Twitter account. 6 for 9 with a touchdown, scrambled, including one for a 19-yard gain during a move the ball type of drill. Nico does a lot of these move the ball drills, whether they be 2-minute or in the team, getting the situational football down, all that. I like that a lot. Whereas practices 5 and 6 arguably could have gone to Davis Mills. Neither quarterbacks looked really good in those practices. I think CJ looked like a competent and serviceable NFL quarterback today, and the offense had some success where perhaps they lacked earlier. I would say if there were 3 disses I had to give the Texans offense through the first 6 practices, it would be disjointed. I mean, just too many tackles for a loss, too many balls batted away, perhaps quarterbacks holding onto the ball too long. Discombobulated. I think the blitz pickup at times has been very scattershot. Too many times where a Jalen Petrie or a Jimmy Ward or a Henry To'oTo'o are unabated to the quarterback, just completely unblocked on blitzes. Not to say that the offense hasn't had good moments there. Those are just the things that stick out. And then disinhibited. Let's say disinhibited because of the false starts. Too many false starts when the officials are out here, where you can just see that this is an offense that's got either young quarterbacks, young offensive coordinator, brand new scheme with a whole lot of new guys. And the defense is going to have an advantage. Defensively, I've been very, very encouraged. It's just we're at that stage during training camp where you don't know whether they're genuinely that much better or are they just going against an offense that's struggling that much. That's why I'm looking forward to the preseason games. The combined practices with the Saints and the Dolphins should be very nice. You really learn a lot more about guys there than you do in the preseason game. But today, the one thing I would say about the offenses and their lack of performance over the course of the first week, for the most part, I don't see a lot of people blaming the quarterbacks for it. If you think about the receiving core at this moment, a lot of the promise and hope comes from some of the younger guys who are still unpolished. As a whole, there really hasn't been a lot of separation. There haven't been a lot of guys open. When the quarterbacks are holding onto the ball, it seems appropriate and understandable. It's obviously not what you want, but things aren't quite clearing the way that hopefully they will start to clear. When you've seen these offenses and the way they operate and perform in the past, guys just flat out get open. The other part I would add to that is that I think Dalton Schultz, when he gets healthy, and hopefully that's just supposed to be a little bit of discomfort, nothing to see here, it's that Dalton Schultz is going to be a big part of this offense. We know that people that come out of this coaching tree like the tight end. They love the Owen Daniels of the world. And Dalton Schultz is that easy outlet for a young quarterback, whether it be CJ Stroud or still the still young Davis Mills. Dalton Schultz is going to be a big deal. And not having him there has highlighted that, but it's also highlighted the lack of depth at tight end. They keep having to sign tight ends because they keep running low, and none of these guys are guys that you feel really good about having big-time production in the game. We'll see. Brevin Jordan, this is probably his last year to really seize the reins on his career because this is the offense in which to do it. The defensive line, the linebackers, and the defensive backs, there's something to get excited about with each of these guys. With the defensive line, I've seen a few times now where Sheldon Rankins and Malik Collins line up at defensive tackle, and compared to the last couple of years, I look at that and I see, okay, that's potentially a successful part of a successful defense. That looks like NFL defense right there. Will Anderson, I told you I'm really happy that he weighs 260. Said this the other day. That is the appropriate body size for him. I think he's going to be a Nick Bosa type. He doesn't have to be as super bendy or as crazily athletic as a guy that weighs 245. And he wasn't. He didn't have that kind of athleticism. He looks really good. He looks very athletic. He looks like he's handling the weight well. If you had asked me, had he gained weight, I probably would have said no because it doesn't look like he's any bulkier. I think he still has room to grow in his upper body a little bit. And he spoke about that the other day about how he's able to focus just on nutrition, just on lifting, all of those things for the first time in his career. And it shows. I'm going to be really surprised if he's not productive this year. I'm not forecasting 17 sacks or anything, but I think he's going to be a very capable and productive defensive lineman in the NFL. And with Jerry Hughes and some of these other guys, Dylan Horton. Well, so Jerry Hughes, the oldest guy on the team, and Dylan Horton, a rookie. who, flew under the radar somewhat in college because he started off as, he went from a strong safety or safety in high school to outside linebacker to defensive lineman, genuine defensive lineman with his hand in his dirt this past year. And along the way, he grew like 50 pounds and he looks good. Like he looks big and put together. There's some impressive physical specimens on the defensive line right now. I know Roy Lopez has been talked about a lot. I think Roy Lopez maybe took another step forward and maybe fits in this defense a little bit better this year than he fit in Lovie Smith's defense last year. So we'll see about him. I've been encouraged with Roy Lopez. He looked like, he's in his third year of kind of transforming his body into a svelter, sleeker type of guy. And he's going to just have to be really dialed in because he is undersized, and what we were excited about his rookie year was just how skilled he was technically. He's got to combine this sleeker athleticism and that skill that he already has and take another step this year. But they'll rotate those guys a lot. Good day for the offense. The guys from In the Loop are going to be interviewing John Mechie. So go ahead and grab a hold of some John Mechie, download it on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Oh, and like and subscribe my YouTube.